Greetings, goblins and Willem Dafoe's. It's your good Uncle Stu, aka 2D from Gorillaz, here to wish you a happy Halloween. 2020 has been, the scariest year in record. So this day in particular is the best time for, a feel-good ink list video. What kind, you asked? Do one with stuff that we all grew up with on VHS and home cinema, or with you kids, DVD. But I hear even that's becoming ancient.
Get on that Blu-ray shite pot.
Maybe, eventually, never, whatever. But in the spirit of this time of year, I'm going to give you my top 10 movie monsters. Woo!
Wanna know what else is scary, pot?
What?
Look behind you, it's 2021!
No! I don't want another year of misery! Alright, after another pleasant talk with Russ.
My nose hurts still.
He's decided not to do those type of jokes around me. So let's get on with the list. Play intro! Let's kick things off with number 10, Count Orlok from Nosferatu. Max Schreck, a German actor and not related to the character from Batman Returns, plays a vampire here. A Nosferatu character, if you might remember from SpongeBob, was haunting the boys at the Krusty Krab. Yeah, this creature's really nice. I like how the makeup makes him look more bat-like than human. All his supernatural movements and eye looks really inspired a lot of things in pop culture. And in my opinion, he's better than Bela Lugosi. Both of them inspired Count Chocula, and I love eating those in my jammies.
42. You're 42.
I'm young at heart. Number 9, the Xenomorph. Now, this one is a bit of a given, but I'm a really big fan of the 1979 one, directed by Ridley Scott, who, would never ever ruin this franchise, right, Ridley? But yeah, I love how the actor Balaji Badejo inside the alien costume designed by H.R. Giger really gives this sense of a creepy slithering thing. It looks like a composite of both, mechanical and biological, aka, biomechanical art, which is something H.R. Giger is well known for. Go check out some of the concept art for this stuff. Even the space jockey looks really cool. I love even how they keep it in the shadows. You see so much of its creepy anatomy. We don't even know what it fully looks like unless you look at production stills, and even then, with the giant person they have inside the costume, it really makes it work. Number 8, the Blob. This one is pretty simple, but still scary. Imagine being inside a monster with no consciousness and no reason, only to eat and grow. That's what this thing is. It's a giant puddle of muck that just springs forth and eats you alive and screaming. It's terrifying, especially if you're someone who's had an incident with Jello mold, like I have, numerous times.
Oh, you let it go.
No! This is still an effective monster. Yeah, it's formless like a certain other alien creature, but regardless of that, whether you like the 1980s or the 1950s one, this is still a great creature of modern practical effects. So yeah, they're both worth watching, but personally, I recommend the 80s version. Number 7, The Fly. Yeah, I really like the story of Brundle. His ideas going from this sort of kind of hunky inventor to this dying character to this horrible mass of friggin' fly parts and, vomit. It looks really disturbing, especially the fact that when he first starts transforming, his hair falls out like it looks like he's going through chemo, which was the original intent, but then over time it became a symbolism for an epidemic in the LGBTQ community. And it's unfortunate, but it's amazing to watch on screen his transformation to being scared, to being powerful, to being helpless, to being insane. He even has a museum dedicated to how his knob fell off. That's pretty friggin' gross. You just feel terrified to watch. David Cronenberg really did a number on this. And plus, I feel bad for that fly being conjoined to Jeff Goldblum. Can you imagine being conjoined to that? Number 6, Godzilla from 1954. Now, I love all the other Godzillas that the USA and Japan have always tried to make, except the 98 one, but the original one still has its epic masterpiece view of the horrors of war, similar to the movie Threads or The Day After, which, Threads traumatized me as a child. The original design is actually kind of haunting. He has these dragon-like fangs and these eyes that are haunting and dead, mostly because they're Muppet eyes, but, it still has this burned look of something that's in such pain. I think that's even scarier, that it's angry but miserable at the same time. So that makes its rage towards humanity a lot more impactful. At least that's what Noodle explained to me, which I respect. Oh, and happy birthday, Noodle. We all love you. Number 5, the Pale Man from Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth. This creepy thing is a Krampus hybrid of certain political figures during the 1940s fascist version of Spain that was happening around the time. Now, this one represents a lot of unfortunate images in history, but mostly it's the Krampus. So you can definitely see this thing as once this big, fat, evil, antagonistic creature that now moves like this skinny, deflated balloon. It's still deadly when it gets its eyeballs in its hands. Its hands are so creepy, it looks like dried skin after it just killed somebody. But yeah, I warn you, this creature will haunt your dreams if you see this in the movie. Number 4, Pumpkinhead. Now, I really have a soft spot for Pumpkinhead. It's not a bad film, but it's not great either, but the creature is the best part. This one is a smirking and vengeful figure. It's basically a voodoo zombie creature that's essentially sent forth to punish those who have wronged you in exchange for your soul. This thing will stop at nothing to get what it wants, which is to kill those that have wronged its creator. It'll even hurt its own creator just to get out of the way. It's really creepy to watch. You see a lot of creativity that was made in creating Pumpkinhead, and I highly recommend you check it out, or at least look at images of the suit. Number 3, Gauss from Gamera, Guardian of the Universe. Now, this one always scared me. I went to see this when it came out on, VHS. And then I saw it on a bigger screen with Noodle when we visited Japan on one of our tours in the early 2000s. She was actually laughing at this, but I was terrified in my seat because, this thing is a giant puppet rubber chicken thing with, these eyes that dart everywhere with a creepy, roar. Plus, you get scenes where it's, diving down like a bird or quietly devouring people and a dog and growing bigger every time it eats something. It's creepy, especially with the fact they eat their own. Number 2, the creature from the Black Lagoon. Alright, this creature isn't so much scary, but it's more or less an achievement in practical effects, given that its rubber suit is also a diving suit, meaning the actor had to actually go down into the ocean and swim around in front of the cameras. That's amazing. Plus, this creature's a lot more tragic, similar to King Kong, where it wasn't really doing anything wrong. It was just hanging out in the Amazon until, I don't know, maybe a green sod possibly ruined its life, kidnapped it, and did God knows what else.
I keep thinking you're thinking of me, but I'm eating way too much Halloween candy to care.
No, I wasn't really talking about you. I was talking about, VeggieTales. I still have a restraining order against you, Larry the Cucumber. And finally, number 1, The Thing from 1982. This adaptation was created by John Carpenter, right after his success with Escape from New York and, Halloween. They figure, why not just let him do this? So they had amazing special effects, which tried to be more faithful to the short story, talking about paranoia, isolation and so on. But they also added something very special, minus, the mind control powers apparently the original thing had, that this creature has no real form. In fact, it's basically a tapeworm from another galaxy. This thing is incredibly evil and creepy looking. It's all a mangled parts of people and so on, and each part of him is its own individual creature, so it can become anything from your hand to your foot or a head. And that's what makes this thing so scary. You don't know what it is or what it's going to use to get you. And that concludes my top 10 monsters of movies. Let me know your favourite monsters in the comment section below, and remember to have a safe Halloween or Day of the Dead. See you next time.